Hello Summoners, and welcome to another episode of Hawkshot, brought to you by Enigma Esports. I'm Brimstone, and this week we'll be unbenching the Kench and taking an abyssal voyage to the KeSPA Cup, IEM San Jose, and beyond to the latest news from the League of Legends pro scene. As we said last episode, which I'm sure you watched, the KeSPA Cup kicked off in Korea, with 14 of the region's best teams duking it out for a spot at IEM Cologne in December. We're picking up the action in the semi-finals as world champions SK Telecom T1 took on Korean challenger team EVER. Now, you'd have thought that this series would have been a complete stomp for SKT, who fielded their new sub-scout on stage for the first time in the mid lane for Game 1. Surprisingly though, things were pretty even up until the 25-minute mark, when EVER's mid laner Athena came online with his rise and began melting both faces and health bars. Bring in support key and some insane bard ultis, and the game eventually fell out of SKT's control and into EVER's lap, letting them take a lead in the best of 3. In Game 2, Faker was let loose on the Rift to try and roll out a win, and things looked great, with SK Telecom picking up a massive kill lead and cracking EVER's base wide open. That was until Faker and Bang got shreked by a Bard ult, giving EVER the chance they needed to push right back and tear SKT to pieces. This from a squad who didn't even manage to qualify for 2016's LCK Spring. The other semi-final saw CJ Entus beating out KT Rolster 2-1, leaving CJ to try and take out the team that did what nobody else could throughout Worlds. This wasn't the case though, as Key carried on being a strong team player throughout the series, despite having Bard banned against him all 3 games, showing a mastery of both Alistair and Tahm Kench that cemented his position as player of the tournament. EVER smashed whatever expectations people had of them as they swept the series again, taking the cup and a ticket to Cologne. On to San Jose now for the first Intel Extreme Masters event this year to feature league action. And boy was it a show. Team SoloMid showcased their almost brand new roster, more on that later, kicking things off against LGD. Both teams were eager to save face on the international stage after showings at the World Championships that would get most players reported. Both games in the best of 3 were messy to say the least, though TSM were able to double lift themselves above their opponents and overpower them in terms of both mechanical skill and the early game, allowing them to have a shot at revenge against the EU upstarts Origin. That wasn't to be the case though, as they were in turn swept by XPeke's squad, who managed to take a break from the Rift himself and give new substitute Power of Evil a taste of NA blood. Early kills in both games let Origin take the lead and keep hold of it, till the Americans once again fell to the sounds of the LCS's newest slogan. My belly is round, my team can't play. You guessed it right, my friends, I'm from NA. Counterlogic Gaming were able to regain some pride for their region though, as they went toe-to-toe with the Jin Air Greenwings after beating the Unicorns of Love. CLG's top laner Darshan, Zion Spartan to you and me, proved himself to be the new star player in place of the now departed Doublelift, showing great knowledge and execution of the split push game, leading to an NA versus EU final, though CLG must have been more worn out than Freak's puns, as both games went super long, topping 45 minutes each, making this the longest series in the tournament for average game time. Origin were able to negate Darshan's split push mastery at the start of the finals, with some daring skirmishes and engages that didn't always go their way. However, the little team that could boarded the hype train and ding ding, chugged straight into Counterlogic Gaming's base to take Game 1. CLG came out swinging in Game 2, but were just not able to capitalise on the fights they won, as Origin played their trademark style, building a slow lead before hitting the on switch and going huge. Origin completed their perfect sweep in the most convincing win of the final, playing an objective style to leave CLG begging for anybody to give them their energy so they can turn things around. Sadly, it wasn't meant to be though, and Euphoria returned to the world once more. So, let's look forward to what other tournaments are upcoming in the next month. First up, we have the mouthful that is the International Wildcard All-Star event in Melbourne. Whew. The 3-day event, which takes place this weekend, will see fan-voted squads from each of the 7 wildcard regions participating in a round-robin format with several different game modes in order to win points. Whichever team has the most points after the grand final on Sunday will head over to Los Angeles for the main All-Star competition. Speaking of which, on the 11th of December, Riot will be hosting Allstars in their shiny new North American studios. Fan votes have been counted and the creme de la creme of players in each professional region have formed into super squads. In turn, the 5 teams and the wildcard team have been placed into either Team Fire or Team Ice. Expect a series of wacky game modes as we all have some pre-holiday fun. So, who's actually playing, I hear you ask? Well, sit back and I'll tell you. First off, we have Team Fire, who are made up of the squads from the LCK, LMS and North America. Fire's team members include Marin and Faker from the LCK, Toys from the LMS, and NA's Dyrus and the Burger King himself. Looking to freeze fire in their tracks are Team Ice, made up of the winning team from the Wildcard All-Stars, LPL and EULCS. LPL will be taking Koro and Uzi, while the EU will be bringing Huni and friends to the table. If you want to know the full rosters, make sure you check out the description below this video. This really is an event that you guys do not want to miss. Personally, I'm going to be counting on my insomnia to get me through each stream. And the final tournament of 2015 will of course be Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. We now know almost every participating team, apart from the 2 European squads, who will be voted by fans soon. After their insane win at the KeSPA Cup, Eva will be joining Chinese squad Kaogu, who have replaced Edward Gaming at the event. The result of the North American fan vote has been announced also, and saw Cloud9 and Team Liquid topping the polls. This will be Liquid's first time at the event, and I'm sure they're going to be eager to show the international stage just what they can do. Time now for me to take a deep breath as we head into that section of the show where we delve into the transfer market. And as expected, there has been a flurry of activity with rumours and changes everywhere. First up, Team Dignitas have had a pretty big refresh of the squad following their recent support staff changes. Smitty J, Kirei and Apollo have joined the team, taking the top jungle and marksman roles respectively. They should have plenty of time to gel with current teammates Shifter and Kiwi Kid before the LCS starts up again. It has been confirmed that Team Impulse and Gravity will both be selling their places within the North American LCS. No idea what may happen with Elements though, as they have lost some members and not yet announced anything in the way of replacements. Of course, once we know anything about that, you guys will be the first to know. Newly acquired European team Follow Esports have rounded out their squad with jungler Trashy, formerly of the now challenger team Enemy. Horo has broken a few hearts in the Unicorns of Love Camp as he has left the European fan favourites to become a free agent. No news of where he may end up yet. The heartbreak for the Unicorns didn't last long though, as they have filled the hole left by Horo with new jungler Gilius. He will be joining fellow newcomers Fox and Steelback to stamp some authority onto the European scene. Hopefully this won't just be a rebound, but true love. Another team that are up in the air are Gambit, who had a shaky summer split, having to fight their way past Mouse Esports in order to retain their spot in the European LCS. It seems the only players that could be sticking around are Diamond and Betsy. Cabochard has possibly been linked with Fnatic, and nobody knows which way the Greek Adonis Forgiven may jump, after he was recently made available for transfer from the troubled organisation. As mentioned before, Cloud9 and Team Liquid will be playing at IEM Cologne and showing off their newest players. Cloud9 will be taking new support Bunny Fufu and jungler Rush, who will take over the gank reins from high. Team Liquid will be showing off X-Special's replacement Smoothie, who left his former squad Team Dragon Knights shortly after their rebranding to Team Arena Online. Counterlogic Gaming have also had changes in their traditional carry positions, as mid laner Huhi and AD carry Stixay fill the gaps left by the departure of Pobelter and Double Lift. America's newest team and fanciest bowtie group ever are NRG. The squad was announced earlier this month after purchasing Coast's LCS spot. The truly international team will consist of Impact in the top lane, Moon in the jungle, GBM taking the mid spot, and in the bottom lane will be carry Alltech with his support, Conquan. And finally, the biggest roster shakeup has to be in Team SoloMid's camp. After building the team from nearly ground up, the only member left from last year is Bjergsen. He will be enjoying the TSM chance with Hauntzer, Sven Skeren, Double Lift and Kasing. And while their performance at San Jose left a lot to be desired, there was definitely some potential that should be polished up before Season 6 begins in January. And that's it for this week, guys. We will be back again in a couple of weeks to bring you the news you need to know. Join the discussion on Twitter by using the hashtag Hawkshot, and leave us any feedback please, it really helps. Also make sure you follow and support Enigma Esports. You can find them on all the social medias which we have linked down in the description box right below this video, so go check it out. I've been Brimstone and it's time for me to go on cooldown.